Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, as always, we lead with Trump. Donald Trump yesterday said he was pleasantly surprised that Joe Biden made a comment about the work that Trump had did on the vax, including promoting the fact that Trump got a booster shot. To refresh your memory, it's been earlier this past year where Trump went to a Trump rally and said something about the vaccine, and it was the only thing that he said that got boos from the crowd. Now, currently, Trump is out with Bill O'Reilly doing some events, and he recently said something about the vax is a good thing, blah, blah, and he got booed again. And he said, now, wait a minute now, you're playing in their hands, yada, 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 yada. Now, here is my advice to President Trump. And I am going to send this to somebody who can get it to him. My advice to Donald Trump is you should never, ever, ever play footsie with the American Communist 10. It's a mistake. And that, of course, includes Joe Biden. This is what Trump's position should be. This is what Trump should put out a statement about. This is what Trump should say. If I'm playing Donald Trump, here's what I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation. Now, he'll say, American people. I want to just make this point about the vaccine. When I was president of the United States, my NIH guy was Dr. Fauci. Everybody told me that I should trust Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci's the guy. Now, everyone said that there should be a vaccine as soon as possible. Well, I moved heaven and earth itself to get these vaccines through the system as soon as possible because that's what was recommended to me. And it is true that I've been vaxxed and I even took the booster. But I want all of you out there to know that I did the best I could under the circumstances I was in with the advice that I was told to follow. However, I want all of you to know that if you choose not to get the vax, that is your American God-given right. I would never, ever mandate that you get the vax. And we all know that there's yet to be lots of information to be revealed. Whether or not the vax was worth it or not, who knows? To each their own. But ladies and gentlemen in the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I am proud that I got the vax through the system as fast as possible based upon the information that I had at the time. But I want all of you to know, especially those of you that are hesitant to get the vax, I understand. Then applause, of course. All right, Trump's at 44% of America say Trump's what they believe, 31% says Biden. That's a nice 13% gap. Fauci versus Waters. Waters used the expression kill shot relative to a question, and Fauci has called for our good buddy at Fox News, Waters, to be fired. Now, of course, that's not going to work, and Fox News came out immediately in defense of good old Waters World himself. A CNN medical analyst themselves has said that a mask is a mere decoration and nothing else. He'll never be back. McCain versus Manchin. You know, I saw a story about this, and I said it first. I love being first on these things. Is the praise that the American Communist 10 gave John McCain when he torpedoed Trump's effort to stop Obamacare. Praise the maverick. And McCain loved that. Oh, wait a minute. What about Manchin? Oh, you can't be an independent thinker unless you're a member of the American Communist 10. I can tell you right now, Manchin is somebody I admire far more than McCain because Manchin is much a Democrat and he's liberal. But Manchin is standing strong out of principle. McCain did what he did out of the middle finger to Donald Trump. Totally different things. Totally different things. And I also am somebody that think that the war record of John McCain, if scrutinized, does not bear him very well. Kamala versus Joe. Ladies and gentlemen, I see what's on the horizon, so let me make the prediction. It's come out that Kamala says we shouldn't blame anybody for this, like the vaccinated, unvaccinated. She says China came, blah, blah, blah. Here's what's going to go down now. Kamala Harris, under fire from everywhere because she just laughs at everything, her staff leaving her, Biden abandoning her, being isolated and everything else. Somebody smart's obviously gotten to Kamala Harris. And you watch, Kamala Harris will start distancing herself from good old Joe. And the easy way to distance herself from Joe Biden is just play the opposite game. Just play the opposite game. You watch. Kamala's going to start painting herself as a moderate a little bit. It's clear to me. Come on, she just came out and said we shouldn't blame the unvaccinated. I think she laughed, though. Out of all the scrutiny of our 2.1 million troops, they said they found 100 people that were doing some white supremacy stuff. Woo! I hope it was worth the trouble. And what was the nature of that? I guarantee it wasn't terrorism. I guarantee it was something like, I don't know, making a comment that January 6th was a good thing. Third graders, and I think it was in Michigan, were being taught all about the Holocaust. We're acting out the Holocaust. Somebody even got to play Hitler. Third graders. Funky Cole Medina. How great is it that you have Defund the police, like Lori Lightfoot, 800 murders in Chicago this year. That's just murders, not the people that got shot. She said, Merrick Garland, bring me some feds. What? How do you simultaneously want to defund the police, but then you want police help? Not on your dime, of course. Not on your dime. 60% of parents are concerned what kids are being taught in school. I don't know what the numbers are, but check that out in 1950, 60, 70, 80, and 90. I'll bet you it wasn't even close to 60%. Bette Midler attacked West Virginians as being dumb. I forget the exact phrase, but just really made fun of them. Illiterate, stupid, poor, so forth and so on. You know who else I think has got a lot in common with West Virginians? Kentuckians. Absolutely. Appalachia. I mean, and she says that about a state's citizens. It's awful. It's awful. Now, everybody knows there's always jokes going around about West Virginia, Kentucky, and Mississippi, which are deserved, by the way, based upon their rankings all the time in education and poverty and health care and all that stuff. But that's good-natured humor. The reality of it is to say what she said about West Virginians is awful. I stand with you, West Virginians. Land of opportunity is apparently a microaggression. Wow. A group is saying that when you say America's the land of the opportunity, it's a microaggression. I'm going to start coming up with a bunch of micros to throw back at the left in the American Communist tent. It's looking good for Kim Potter. The jury came back with a question. By the way, I want to let you know, there is nothing worse as a lawyer in a law firm or a party than waiting for a jury's deliberation. I will always be grateful that I got Alan Statman and Ben Moran to go through that process and I don't have to do it anymore. I want to tell you something. It's the worst. One of the things you love to prepare you what the result's going to be is when a jury asks a question. For example, in a Durrani case, we always love when the jury says, are we allowed to give more than what the plaintiff asked for in medical specials? Or, you know, it's a question about damages, which means you won on liability. And it's like a big relief. Well, the Kim Potter jury asked yesterday, what happens if we can't form a consensus? That means hung jury. Hung jury. I think the defense lawyer did a great job of saying this is a mistake, not a crime. And guess what, folks? That woman taking the stand and showing true emotion and crying and breaking down is what you do when you're innocent. I mean, she's guilty of shooting the guy, but man, you got to put everything in context. And I'm telling you, what do you think the chances of at least one juror saying, you know what, I'm not going to convict that woman for a guy that was trying to get away from the cops? It's awful what happened, but I'm not putting her in prison. I like the defense chances. Hunter Biden again. Comes out that that missing woman's employer, Hunter Biden, is connected to, and guess what? It involves China again. Hunter Biden, piece of freaking work. Last but not least, I want to congratulate my good buddy Fanon Rucker. You know, when Fanon Rucker ran against drunk Joe Otis Deters, I gave him his single largest contribution of $10,000. I always support the people that end up losing, but oh well. Fanon Rucker has been appointed the interim, he likes to emphasize this, the interim county clerk, Hamilton County clerk for FTAB Pure Vault. I tease Fanon, he just loves building that resume. But Fanon Rucker is a good man, and he'll do a good job as Hamilton County clerk. He's been a municipal judge, he's been a prosecutor, he's done a lot of things, like I said, building that resume. Fanon Rucker, your new Hamilton County clerk. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you have a great day.